Ahoy and welcome! In this series I am doing a deep dive in certain heritage ship cosmetics that are available for Sea of Thieves. Aside from just looking beautiful, quite a few of them are inspired by past rare video games. In this video we will have a look at the Bear and Bird ship set, which is based on the Banjo-Kazooie franchise. This ship was voted for by my YouTube community, so if you want to help decide future videos, please subscribe and keep an eye on the community tab. And if you like Sea of Thieves and other rare games, you should subscribe as well. This is the perfect channel for you. But for now, let's have a look at the ship and all its references. And as always, it might be smart to dive into the franchise first. So let's do that. You can't have a history lesson about Banjo-Kazooie without first discussing Project Dream, but I will keep it short. After the success of Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, the team started working on their next project. This project was named Project Dream and featured a human protagonist and a pirate called Black Eye as an antagonist. This project moved to the N64 and the team began feeling more connected to a certain side character. This side character was Banjo. After the success of Mario 64, it was decided to make this game a platformer and Kazooie was added to help overcome certain platforming challenges. So yeah, that's Project Dream in a nutshell. Just like Conker, Banjo did make his debut in Diddy Kong Racing first, and even though Kazooie didn't appear in that game, she is mentioned in the manual. Also, Tip Top made his debut here. I like him, I just want to mention that. Banjo-Kazooie released in 1998 and I went nuts after seeing the commercial. And finally my parents did got me this game together with my N64 for Christmas. And since that day, Banjo-Kazooie is still my favorite video game of all time. The story is beautifully simple. Gruntilda the witch is jealous of the beautiful Tooty, Banjo's sister, and kidnaps her to turn herself into sexy Gruntilda. And it's up to you to scale the witch's lair by collecting jigsaw pieces, defeat the witch and rescue your sister. The amount of charm and love for video games is so apparent while playing this game. It invokes the feeling of going on a video game adventure with a bunch of self-aware video game characters. Controlling both Banjo and Kazooie feels great and all the worlds are unique and contain memorable characters like, Captain Blubber. I also appreciate the bits of adult humor that pop up every now and then, and of course the soundtrack is simply amazing. Every single track fits the levels perfectly and you will be humming all of them even after turning off your console. So yeah, it's a pretty good game. Its direct sequel, Banjo-Tooie, gets talked about less, and if it does, it's mainly about why this game is inferior to Banjo-Kazooie. Obviously, I also prefer the first one, but I also absolutely adore Banjo-Tooie. Whoa, Mario can turn into a T-Rex! Well, Banjo did that first, and unlike Mario, you can also roar, which makes it 10 times better. But joking aside, I really appreciate this game, mainly for expanding the Banjo universe. It has more characters, features more dialogue, and even the jokes are better and appear more frequently. Unlike Banjo-Kazooie, you're not just going from one jigsaw piece to the next, since this game does require you to do a lot of setup and some backtracking. It's not as bad as some people would like you to believe, but the first time around you will definitely want to use a guide for the later levels. Also, the final level, Cloud Cuckoo Land, sucks. I never hear anybody talk about it, but for a final level I was always disappointed with this. If you are interested in playing both Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, your best choice is to play the HD remasters on Rare Replay. Even though I have some issues with both of these versions, they are mostly just nitpicks only fanboys like me could have. Honestly, whenever I replay these games I do choose the remasters, and those are the ones I recommend. Also included with Rare Replay is a third mainline Banjo game called Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. This game is mostly known for being the most controversial Banjo game. Instead of staying true to the formula, Rare decided to make it about building vehicles. And to be fair, it is a lot of fun making and controlling your own creations. And even though there is still a lot of that typical Banjo humor to be found, it did end up alienating most fans, myself included. I also really dislike the art style. This style works fine for certain characters like Captain Blubber and no, it only works for Captain Blubber. The franchise also saw 2 games on the GBA. First up was Grunty's Revenge, which takes place between the first 2 games. Even though the original team and the original composer didn't work on this, it does play and sound like a Banjo game. It is by no means a masterpiece, but if you are craving for a Banjo experience after the N64 games, you should definitely check it out. This game was also ported as a mobile game, and this just blows me away how bad it is. I also want to mention Banjo Pilot. Originally developed as Diddy Kong Pilot, Rare couldn't use those characters anymore after Microsoft bought their company. So it was made into a Banjo game, and it is really not that special, but they left espresso in the game, so hey, that's cool. And Yooka-Laylee is considered the spiritual successor of Banjo-Kazooie and was actually made with a good chunk of the original team. Again, it's no masterpiece, but it does scratch that Banjo itch in a good way. Also, Banjo is in Smash. In the future I will probably go way more in depth about most of these games, but for now let's have a look at the ship. The Bear and Bird was the first ship set to be released in the Emporium. At first glance you can see that the most prominent colors are blue, red and yellow. Those colors are used in most of their video games logos. This font style is also quite similar to the one used in the Donkey Kong franchise. The hull represents their logo the best. It uses blue for Banjo, red for Kazooie and yellow as the outline. The hull also features some musical notes at the front, a collectible that appears in every Banjo game. The description of the hull reads, "A proud, piratical hull that makes your ship seem like something out of a dream." A description that makes a lot of sense if you know the history of this game. Which, thanks to this video, you do. The wheel depicts both Banjo and Kazooie. The description reads, "Doubles as a tribute to the red-crested breagull, a very rare bird indeed." A breagull is the made-up species of Kazooie, just like Banjo is referred to as a honey bear, a species of bear that doesn't really exist. It also describes the breagull as a very rare bird, which, well, do I need to explain that? The cannons use the familiar colors, but also add some more brown to represent Banjo's fur. It is also adorned with both red and gold feathers, some more collectibles from the franchise. The butt of the cannon depicts a golden jiggy and even the wheels have little jigsaw pieces. The description reads, "Imagine your cannonballs soaring with avian grace and striking with earth-sign might." Another easy one, avian and earth-sign mean bird-like and bear-like respectively. The capstan is beautifully decorated and even has a little jigsaw piece on top. Its description reads, "A capstan so delightful you never want to stop and swap it for another one." This is a reference to the stop and swap mechanic Rare tried to implement in some of their N64 games. They found out that by switching cartridges while leaving your N64 on, some of the data was still stored on the console, which could be transferred over to another game. There are dozens of videos and articles made about this, so I won't explain further, but it does show the amount of creativity and hardware pushing capabilities Rare was known for during their golden years. The flag shows 3 red feathers on a yellow field, and this is actually a bigger reference than you might think. Red feathers are a collectible used to fly in the Banjo games. You learn this move on the top of a mast, a similar location to where the flag is. To be able to fly, you also need a fly pad. The logo of the fly pad in Banjo-Kazooie is 4 red feathers, but in Banjo-Tooie it is 3, just like this flag. Its description reads, "While raising this flag, why not pop a jolly tune through your speaking trumpet?" This is probably a reference to the 4th level in Banjo-Tooie, which is called Jolly Roger's Lagoon. The description of the sails read, "Derived from a cave painting, the bear and bird have been beloved for a long time." Which is obviously true, and this cave painting can actually be found on Plunder Valley. The collector's sails also depict this cave painting, but also add a cool jigsaw motif. The description reads, Let the spirit of the bear and bird keep your ship soaring across the waves. Not really a reference to be found here, aside from the fact that the word soaring is more commonly used to describe something flying. And finally, let's have a look at the figureheads, and we actually have 3 to discuss. First up, the regular figurehead, which depicts our favorite duo in a colorful way. The description reads, a mysterious bear carrying an unusual bird, believed to keep evil witches at bay. Pretty self-explanatory, but I do want to mention that Gruntilda actually has 3 sisters. 2 of them are also evil. Also, one of them is called Minjala. Yeah, it always surprises me what Rare managed to get away with. The collector's figurehead is basically the same, only it's made of gold. First I thought it was very lazy, but well, it's still very lazy, but it might be a reference to the golden banjo statues found in the first game. It does feature some sapphires as eyes that glow in the dark, obviously sapphires since Banjo, just like Conker, has blue eyes. The description reads, the otherworldly animal legends live on, still determined to defend against witches. This might be true in spirit, but in reality, it has sadly been a very long time since the last Banjo game. The final figurehead I want to discuss is the Legacy figurehead. It looks a bit more plain compared to the others, and the description is actually the same as the first one. But when this figurehead was first made available, you could buy it for 1998 gold coins. And of course, that number is also the year Banjo-Kazooie was released. Also worthy to note is that one of the pirate chat options for the Banjo is GH, which is obviously the most quotable sound Banjo makes. This text can also be found on Banjo's split up pad in Banjo-Tooie, something I actually learned this year. So, thanks for watching my video. I hope it was fun to sit through while also being informative. A thumbs up is always appreciated. I also want to thank Frog Rambo, a subscriber of mine who actually owns this ship set and helped me out, because I rather spend my money on some more grog, let's be fair. So, let me know if I missed anything, because that is a possibility, and also let me know how you feel about this ship in the comments. Is it one of your favorites, or do you like one of the others better? Anyways, as always, thanks for watching my stuff, and I wish you happy sailings, whether it be on an overpriced expensive ship set or not. Alright, see you in the next video and take care. Hey, thanks for watching the entire video. A like or subscribe is very much appreciated, and if you want to see more videos, there's some links right here. So thanks again and take care.